So basically, what I mean to say was that yes, over a period of time and during pandemic, job as well as training has evolved very drastically. One is basically people have now understood that technology is the need of the hour, right? To the generation next. Okay, so now we are when we talk of generation Z, or even the generation Y, now we are understanding the how they are embracing technology, right? How we are going to teach them, how they are going to learn, how they are going to work. So basically, because of that, yes, there is a paradigm shift in the way people are working, in the way people are learning, in the way people are upskilling and reskilling themselves. Yes, there is a paradigm shift which has definitely happened. Today, the perspective of individual has changed. Okay, the pandemic, people losing their jobs, retrenchments happening, long working hours, people have now realized that they have to come out of their comfort zone. As you rightly said, that clinical planning of everything, your daily work, your daily juggling of home and work has become an integral part of every person's life, whether you are a man or a woman. Today when I'm doing some house chores, my husband also jumps in and says, okay, I'll do something, because then we are able to divide our professional work into different streams. Same thing goes with my kids. So every person in the house today owns a laptop or an electronic device, so that they don't disturb each other. Right from your education to entertainment, everything has moved on to internet and onto laptop. It has become more personalized. Yes, and I'm seeing that. And of course, there is a lot of gap that has been created during the pandemic. Okay, so there is a lot of job gap that has been created. We always had a skill gap any which ways in India, which we were trying to do, fill it up with the skill development programs. But because of the pandemic, the tier two, or I would say the more educated people, even the graduates, postgraduates, and even the experts in their own, field, have come into the circle of, the skill gap, right? And it's this gap is just going to be expanding, because people who have skills may lack on technology, and people who are on technology may lack on skills, right? So of course, job paradigm has changed a lot. Okay, and it is not restricted to become a gender bias job role. Absolutely, at least in my perspective, I would not probably hire a male or a female to do my work. I would rather hire a person who has the competencies to do the work, in that particular time frame, right? And because of this gap which has been increasing over a period of time, I think the inclusion, every organization has to become an inclusive organization, where they're giving opportunities to everyone. Jobs cannot be distinct by saying that you've done a full-time MBA from a premium institute. Today, even Oxford has been giving an online training program, to that extent. So how will you justify this? So this year has definitely been, everything has become online. So discriminating a person that you've done a job and you've done a qualification in distant learning, or through online courses, will be the thing of the past in the next few years. That's how it is. So yes, of course, I see a paradigm shift in jobs as well as in the training programs, right? Today I can go take up master classes and then decide whether I want to take up a class or not. I have a lot of other players in the market, who are offering me training programs. Oxford, Harvard opened their doors for free learning over a period of time. Google opened up for a lot of free resources. But Indians, or rather I would say citizens or learners or knowledge takers, did not realize that they were compromising big time on a lot of things, which they have actually bargained in exchange of the knowledge that they have taken. Right? One of them has been the data that they have been sharing. But now, because of artificial intelligence, the moment you breathe, people, I think you don't even know, unknown people in the world would know that you're breathing. So this is one big shift that has happened because of technology. And yes, and of course, a lot of other things that have taken place. So yes, the job market and the training as an industry has really taken up a different leap altogether during the pandemic. So this is what I would like to say right now. Thank you for the question, Rajni. And yes, as you have rightly mentioned, that the paradigm of HR has changed very drastically and very significantly. Continuing my previous question that you had asked, that how jobs and training have been affected during the pandemic, I would like to say that now, if you're talking about women and men being centric about earning as breadwinners, I would right now say that because of this current downfall in the economy, I'm sure it will see a surge and the market is bullish. But today, the main idea of any household has become who is the breadwinner. Whether you are whichever gender you are, whether you are a husband, whether you are a wife, who is the breadwinner and who will keep the show going on, who will be able to match the expenses, whether you are a female who's earning more than your husband, or the husband who's running the show. Because as I had mentioned, that there is a lot of job gap that has come, a skill gap that has come, and people are striving to match their lifestyles and continue their lifestyles even after the pandemic, right, when things become socially and economically stable. So in these current situations, when I, as an HR head, have to evaluate, characters, or to play the role of various, important protagonists in the drama, or as I would say that at the workplace, I would rather see people's competency and their productivity, their ability to help me perform certain tasks at that particular given point in time, and for the productivity and the results which last over a period of time. So I think the HR perspective has changed now as to in terms of competency versus the productivity, and it definitely does not matter about how or which gender that the person belongs to. Now here I would like to bring a very, very, very straightforward words that I would probably use, is that right now HR should look at considering the third gender also, as a part of their workforce. It is simple because these people also have that ability, that high-end competency, where they have the strength of a man and the thought and the emotions of a woman, right? So what they bring to the table would be very different from either of us would probably bring to the table. So yes, the HR perspective of hiring people right now has changed drastically. One, it is about competency and productivity. As I had mentioned to you, training industry is an open forum now. People are learning, reskilling and upskilling themselves. Distant learning, or learning through internet sources, has become a part and parcel of life. So as an HR, I would rather skip that to what has been your qualification. Rather, I would probably see what is your potential to perform my task the way I want to do it, and what do you bring to the table to make it better, is what the HR is looking nowadays. HR is all about having an inclusive working culture, right? It has to be an equal opportunity employer. You cannot say that we need to have a fixed space for women, or fixed space for men, or a fixed space for any other people. We at large have to become an equal opportunity employer. We need to, in our organization, in the culture, we should have space for every person, right? See, today at McDonald's, you see people with a different ability. I wouldn't say it's a disability. The way they think of creativity is very different from you and me. And they still help, and they still help you serve. And they serve so relentlessly. And they will ensure that they are smiling at you. And if you drop something, they don't even feel that itch, that they can clean the floor so nicely with a smile, because they're enjoying that work. McDonald's, a company like McDonald's has created that space. Fashion industry has created that space. You have female models walking, you have male models walking in clothes which are semi-female, which even females are wearing, in that manner. You have people who are transgenders there, and people in the society has accepted them for whoever they are. Right? There are designers coming in. So I think this kind of an acceptance has to happen across all industries. Okay, technology will be the next phase. That next phase. For that, you don't have to be a gender-centric. You don't have to be gender-centric. You just have to have brains. You have to be a human being first. Just the way your organization, you have to be a strong human being first. So, before you are a male or a female or anybody else. So yes, HR as a paradigm will definitely shift, and it is shifting in most industries, but not the mainstream industries, like not the mainstream industries of education, not the mainstream industries of say for technology development. You still see people in the legal and law firm who are transgender who are coming in. You see people who are women, first women, or the first women people in the Navy. You see people in the the air pilots who've become. You have these first women coming in. but then you should also have a gender centric society, a gender centric organization where you accommodate everybody. So sometimes I definitely look up to the fashion industry. They have space for everyone. They don't look at you as a gender. They look at you as your competency. They look at you for your caliber. They just ignore the fact that you are with gender. So if you bring to the table what they're expecting and beyond that, you are in the game. This is lacking very drastically in the other industries, which should open up. I think HR should come up and make a workplace which accommodates everybody. Okay, it has to be an inclusive organization. Okay, I think the first and the foremost thing that any HR would do is first remove the gender. The question that they ask: which gender do you belong to, male, female, or whatever? Just remove it. I'm like, you are hiring a human being. Just hire a human being. You won't ask this question to a robot tomorrow when AI just takes over human being. Which gender you belong to? It is just the facade. It is just the face. That people are looking at. So that's one thing that I want to say, and of course there is lots more to say. I think inclusion is the next buzzword. Equal opportunity employer is something that every HR should be becoming right now. And you need to monetize on the skills, on the competency, on the strengths, right? And you should be looking at the next productive role that you can offer, you can create, and you can bring to the bottom line of your organization. Because in this current falling economy, HR could be the next CEO of every organization, because he or she is contributing through manpower to that bottom line. So just be very non-biased in terms of hiring people. Okay, there are work that even women do, and they relentlessly do it, with managing their household, managing their work, managing their productivities, their timelines. They are listening to their bosses, and yet they are performing out of and in spite of situations. So the same thing happens with every human being. I think HR has to come up with newer ideas of even engagement. The HR engagement activities have to be at a different level. You just cannot be having Christmas parties with Santa Claus running around. It has to be more productive and more thinking. It has to be more thought-provoking events that one need to even conduct in HR. That is something that I look at. I like one thing about Google, that it celebrates every day. Something or the other it will doodle, but it celebrates every day. They find something good in every day and they start celebrating it, and people start looking at it. So it is the same thing with HR. You find good in every person and just celebrate him towards your productivity. So that's what I wanted to tell you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity, for speaking at such a length and expressing my views. Thank you, Rajni. Thank you, Sainath. Thank you, Dipti, Niharika, for giving me this opportunity. And thanks to everyone for listening to me so patiently. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Mejabin.
Thanks, Mejabin. In fact, I would like to add one thing here. In fact, this digital ecosystem and the digital workspace is making women more employable compared to men. Because you can stay anywhere, and women are flexible, and women are ready to they want to be at home, they want to be able to manage their life and all, but once that is sorted, they are very focused on profession, and women have better communication skills. Women are naturally they have empathy, right? Because they have to go through this motherhood and all. Obviously they are designed to be more on empathy side. And if you really see, for suppose in AI everything it can solve. But if you want to, at the end of the day, do you want to talk to an AI or a real person?
Right.
Yes, that women can occupy that space. Women are much more employable. In fact, I would say that all communicating anything, women do a much better job than men. If you have to communicate something to someone. And when women speak, everyone listens. Now, just like how we listen to Mejabin ma'am as she was speaking, people listen. So it is better. And in fact, in this digital space, like women can be better managers also.
In fact, Sainath, I want to say that there is a new space that is being created. Like you had rightly said, there is polarization happening, right? It is not only in the political arena, it is also in the job arena, where there are category of organizations who are saying that they want people to sit in their office and do work though they work for their present 8 hours and they work for 6 hours, right? Because they are overcoming the tiredness of traveling and things like that. There is a category of people who are like, you work from home and work as much as you want, but give me this result. So there is a polarization happening. So if there is woman power that needs to be used, or woman capabilities that needs to be used, it is on the other side of the polarization, I would say, where they say, okay, you work at your flexibility, but give me this XYZ result. And that is where women will play a very, very crucial role. And that is where, because the first thing is that there are organizations who are like very typical about their approach towards the pandemic, saying that now you've taken the vaccination's out, things are back to normal, but they do not realize that during the pandemic the productivity has increased multifoldedly. So as you rightly said, yes, women have more scope to work. They have a lot of scope to work as long as the industry is, the other side of the polarized industry is taken care of. I think women have a lot of scope to earn and become the breadwinners of their families. So yes, as you rightly mentioned.